And good morning, good morning, good morning again. Let's talk this morning. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend. As you can tell, I'm kind of maybe a day behind. My mom used to say a day late, dollar short, something like that. Anyway, we're here. Do me a favor, invite somebody, share, tell them coffee time is on. In the meantime, here's what I need you to do. Invite somebody, share, and back after this.
Coffee time, coffee time. Yeah, this ain't your average cup of joe. Listen, I need it in the morning, I need it at night. He always keeps it brewing, he always keeps it tight. Just a little sip, it'll get you right. Terrence Pickett always be the one that gets the coffee right. The coffee's right, the coffee's right in my life. It's never a wrong time or a crime to get what's yours and to get what's mine. Come on. Coffee time in my life. Coffee time. Feels so right. I need a little sugar, put it in my cup. Can you stir it, Terrence? Let me know what's up. And at the end of the show, you can brew another pot. Just make sure you make it.
And good morning, everybody. How is everybody doing this morning? Let's see here. Gary Randolph, good morning, my bro. Good morning, good morning. Star Wright, good morning. Vonda Oliver, good morning. Tina White McPherson, good morning. Jaquil, Lanisha, Hudno, good morning. Anybody that did not call, it's not because I'm overlooking you. You didn't say anything to me. When you don't talk back to me, I can't read what you're saying. And it doesn't show me that you're on, so not on me. Okay, let me get this down here, get this out of y'all way. This is my little cheat sheet. There we go. So today is Tuesday, and I want to stop and commend all of you who are on if you're on YouTube. Got to give the biggest shout out to you. You're making things happen. Thank you so much. Everybody, thank you so much for being so attentive. Thanks for joining. Going on 10 years now, we've been doing this on the same platform. We've got some great opportunities with YouTube that I'm excited about. Still got some great things that are happening on our side. And, man, I'm just glad that it could have been anybody he chose, but he chose me. And for that, I'm grateful. I'm glad that he chose you, and I'm glad we're doing this thing together. Teresa Bryant, good morning. Duchess O'Neill, good morning. Vonda Oliver, good morning. Teresa Bryant, thanks for sharing. Michelle Byers, good morning. And Angie, I'm so blessed. Daniels, good morning. So I want to kick the morning off. Basically, did you not know that most of the success that you will gain in your life and most of the failures that you would gain in your life is not on God, it's not on the devil, it's on you. It's on you. And what I mean by that is God has given you creative power to create the world that you want, as long as that world fits within the scope of his plan for you. And he's also giving you the power to declare your beginning from your end. I want to say this. Irvin Jones, good morning, bro. Boy, you give me 2 weeks, I'm going to be ready for you. I promise. I got to re-up on some stuff and get some things situated, Irvin Jones. 2 weeks, sir. And congratulations on your workout plan. See you getting it in. I'm getting it in as well. But Nicole S., good morning. So, so many times things happen, and what people do is they don't want to accept responsibility for the part that they have to play with where they are. Where you are is a sum total of decisions that you've made, good, bad, indifferent, whatever. That's why you are. Now, there are things that happen to you that are beyond our control, but for the most part, God has given us the power. He's given us the control to guide our own life. Now, this life is guided through principle and law. You can't steal from folk and then expect to reap a great harvest. What's going to happen is stealing from people is going to put you on the bottom end, on the bottom floor. There's a song that says, basically, they that deal deceitfully will be brought to poverty, meaning there's a connection between people who are broke and poor with the level of integrity that they release. And when I say broke and poor, I'm not talking about money. You can have plenty of money and still be broke and poor. So it becomes our responsibility to do the things that are necessary to succeed. For instance, and I'm just going to kind of give you a peek into my closet. I have a whiteboard in my house, and on my whiteboard, I write down my goals. I keep it behind my bed because there are so many times for me where I get up in the middle of the night and I have an idea, or I have something maybe that I want to think about, something that I want to put together. Maybe I get, whatever it is. I write it down immediately, put it on my whiteboard. Sometimes in the middle of the night, if I don't like getting up, turning on the light, I'll just record it in my phone, on the tablet in my phone, and then the following day, take it from my phone, put it on my whiteboard. And there are steps that I take to getting these goals done. Because I'm creative, because I know I have a lot of ideas, the first thing that I have to do when I get an idea is I have to say, now, is this for me, or am I supposed to give this to somebody else? Because more often than not, just because you generate the idea or the theme, it does not mean that that theme or idea is for you. So I put it on the whiteboard, write it down, and I look at it every day. And my prayer is, show me who this is for. Now, for the most part, and this is how it works, I'll get on the phone with someone, I'll see someone, we're talking about whatever, and stuff starts to come up out of me. And I know then, oh, that's what this is. Yeah, that's what this is. And I will give that idea away. Sometimes that idea has been given to me for me to monetize, make money off of it. So when you have these ideas, when you have these things, it doesn't necessarily mean it's for you. But in every case, if God is giving you the idea, it's going to benefit you. There are some ideas that I've given away. There's some ideas that I've given away to other people, and I didn't monetize off of it. It was just a gift to them. I just felt in my heart they were supposed to have it, and I've given it to them. And in cases, they've taken that idea, they've run with it, and brought me some of the fruit from it. So whatever the case is, it's important that when you get an idea that you execute it, think about it. Is it for you? Is it for somebody else? But the one thing that you cannot afford to do is to do nothing with it. Now, sometimes that idea may sit because the timing is off, but you're still working on it because you're looking at it. You're still activating faith because you're thinking about it. Sometimes the doing of an idea has nothing to do with getting the idea in motion. It's It's letting it recycle in your head, praying on it, thinking about it, making sure you're taking calculated risk. So that's the first thing that I do. Now, when I find out that the idea is for me, my next step is, all right, I'm a pencil and paper guy, pen and paper. I either write it down. All right, what does this idea look like? What is it? What am I trying to accomplish with it? What purpose does it serve? And I just look at it every day, back and forth. I do research. The research just gives me an idea of what other people may need, may not need in regards to it. And I do the statistics. I do my own analysis. I gather as much information as I can about this idea. And I read it. Now, here's the thing. The information is not going to deter me from doing it, and it's not going to enforce me into doing it or push me into doing it. It's just that I'm going to be well informed no matter what I decide to do. A few weeks ago, I was in New York, and I got this idea, and it's not a new idea. It's an old idea, actually. And as I begin to write it down, think about it, do the research, I was going to execute that idea in New York. That's why I thought, hey, this is definitely one of the reasons I'm here. Well, in getting ready to get that done, some decisions had to be made immediately. And I had to come back here for a second. So in coming back here, I think it was two or 3 weeks or whatever, I found out that the idea that I got there was for here. Listen, before I could even execute it, I started getting phone calls from 2 people who said, hey, we need help with, and it was the same idea that he gave me in New York. Blair Corey, good morning. Law Johnson, bless you. We're not going to talk about stomachs this morning because you're losing at plate level. DeJuan McIntyre, good morning. Sherry Malloy, Sherry. So when the idea is given to you, that idea, especially if it's for you, it's going to attract what you need. Now, listen to this. When I got that idea, 2 people called, and both of them needed advice in regards to the idea that I had. I never said to them, I was just thinking. Sometimes you have to just sit on it to see how it plays out. And you can't reveal what you were thinking because people are different. And a lot of times when you say, I was just thinking about that. I had an idea and we were going to do this, do that. Well, now you're raining on their time, their parade, and you're robbing them from saying what they have to say. And you have to be real careful. Even if you were thinking about it and it was on your heart, you got to be careful how you share it because you don't want to deter the person that's coming to you. You want to hear them out. You don't have to share what you've been thinking, what's been on your heart. You don't have to do that. Hear them out because they could be a missing piece, or they could be the person that is sent to you to help you on the other side by giving you the education, especially if they're already in it. If we're pretentious, or if we get too excited, we can ruin it. You have to be careful when you reveal it. The other thing is, all of our hearts, we're working on stuff. And have you ever told somebody your idea and then they jump, I was thinking the same thing, and I was thinking we blah, 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 blah. And it's almost like they're taking over that space. Well, I have to watch that because they're going to make it hard for me to work with them. because they've not learned the discipline and balance of the moment. They don't know how to contain themselves and control their emotions. So when the idea starts to unveil, it starts to happen, I can count on them to be an emotional wreck somewhere, and I don't need that extra baggage. I need somebody to be calm, cool, and collective, and I need somebody in a place where they can understand all of us are going to win, but there's a way that it has to be done. So if they call you and they bring something to you, you need to wait it out. Just listen. Listen to what they say. If the door is open, they say something like, what do you think about that? That's the time to share, but you don't share everything. I was thinking about that. In fact, that's been on my mind the last 3-4 weeks. I made a few steps into that direction, and it's funny that you would bring that to me. Now, here's what I did. I acknowledge I've been thinking it, but I did not overshadow the person in conversation who's telling me. I gave them space and freedom. I've opened the door. Now I need to see what they're going to do with the information that I have given them. Now, if they say, well, maybe we can collaborate. Maybe this is something we're supposed to do together. Well, as excited as you are and as good as that sound, that doesn't mean you should do it. Here's what your response should be. That sounds like a good idea. Let's think about it. Let's think about what that looks like. Let's think about what that looks like long term. Because a lot of times, and I've been there, y'all, trust me, we cash checks with our mouth that we don't have the resources to render with our heart. We're so anxious and excited. We're moving off of an impulse. Well, here's what you don't know. Based on what the idea is, it's going to put you and that person in close proximity. Do you all get along? Yeah, we get along. How do you know? You've never been at a table to really have a relationship in business or whatever the idea is. So you don't know their weaknesses, their strengths. You don't know if this is Isaac or Ishmael. And the story of Isaac and Ishmael is short. God told Abraham he was going to give him a son. Abraham got tired of waiting, like most of us do, and he went out and he got him a damsel. The girl was young too, for the record. Yeah, he was young. Abraham was about 97, somewhere between 93 and 97, when he went and got Ishmael. Ishmael was his doing, but he was not the promised child because the promised child had to come through Sarah, because that's who the word came to. So you hear a lot of people say Ishmael, Isaac. Ishmael is my mistake. Ishmael was not a mistake. Ishmael was a sign of the flesh. Ishmael was Abraham taking care of doing things. There's a war that is going on in the Middle East right now, believe it or not, between the descendants of the two. So Isaac is the son of promise. And a lot of times we have the right idea and we share it with the wrong person because we don't have the patience and emotional intelligence to think it out, weigh it out, give it some doggone time. We don't have that discipline, so we reveal it, and then they leave with your stuff. Now you're mad. Well, no need of you being mad. They were wrong. But I say this a lot of times. A lot of times when the thief comes to rob us, them being able to get what they want and walk away is contingent on us opening the door. You got to open the door. So you need to just chill out. See how it's going to work. And here's the other thing that I would tell you to do whenever you have an idea that involves somebody else. Maybe they didn't call you. Maybe you called them. Hey, I have an idea. You need some time to hang out with them. I'm going to tell you why. You need to hang out with them. You need to get to know them before you start building something with them. And I know Christians, believers believe if it's a God thing, it's going to work out. Let me help you. That is one of the most reckless things that we could ever say. Just because God is in it doesn't mean it's going to work out, because it was God's will and God's plan for man to live forever. You see where we are, don't you? Because you have a part to play with it. It's kind of like, there's a scripture I'm reminded of, a little debate that I had yesterday. Renee Flores, good to see you this morning. Melanie Patrick, good morning. The scripture that says some plant, some water, God sends the increase. Listen to what it says. Some plant, some water, God sends the increase. And there are people that believe when it comes to the will of God that whatever God orders, he's going to grow. Well, yeah, he is going to grow it, but somebody got to plant it. That's us. Somebody has to water it. That's us. It's not us doing it by ourselves. It's us working in harmony with his plan. And us being in harmony with his plan, we're to do everything that we're supposed to do on our part. We just can't say, well, God going to do it. It's going to work out. It's not going to work out. And I think that's one of the dumbest things that we could say. Or when it doesn't work out according to how we plan, because we've made errors and we've abused principle, then we say, well, it worked out the way that it should. It did not. That wasn't the plan. It worked out the way that it did because principles violated, it's chaos created. There are certain things that you have to put in motion. It's kind of like the people who believe all things work together. They don't. They do not. When you quote Romans 8:28, you better read what's before it. All things doesn't work out for the good. Because there are some things that were supposed to work out, but because we didn't do our part, it shifted our position and the fruit came, but we weren't in place to receive it. But that wasn't the plan. The plan was for the fruit to take care of you, but you missed the fruit because you got out of place. So it's important that we do our part. We have a part to play in the success we have as well as the failure. And here's what we do so we don't have to accept responsibility. We put it on God, or you put it on the devil. It's you, playerette. It's not God or the devil. It's you. So you have to own it. You have to accept the responsibility. Ephesians 3:20. Now unto him, he's able. We're talking about the ability of God to do exceeding abundantly, above all that you can reason in your mind or you can imagine, according to, here's the contingency, what's working in you, what's operating in you. How much belief do you have in you? How much skill do you have in you? Well, based on your skill and your belief, that's going to determine the outcome and the measure of power that he will manifest towards you. Y'all think it's on God. I'm telling you, it's on us. It's co-laborers together. We work with him. He doesn't do it all. We have a part to play. Edith Hodges. Y'all, yesterday or the day before was Sunday was Edith Hodges' birthday. Y'all give us some love. One clap. Happy birthday, Edith. So, when we accept the responsibility for the role that we have to play and be responsible with our role by getting the information, governing our emotions, and being careful about how we move and move with good stewardship, When we operate those things on that level, it puts us in a position for God to respond based on the principles that we released. I'm getting ready to brag. I told you all, I don't know, I think it was August, September, July maybe. Last year, we did a whole campaign on love yourself. I was talking about getting in shape. We were talking about getting our minds right. We were talking about getting our hearts right and getting our body in shape. And I challenge, hey, I'm on live sharing my journey, weight loss. I gained so much weight. In fact, I was 298 pounds. I have never been that big. The biggest I've ever been in my life was 256. £298. And I started to notice the difference because it was work. It was work just tying my shoes. I'm telling y'all, I needed a whole break. And then I couldn't bend straight down. I had to spread my legs and go between, had one arm between my legs, the other arm outside, just to tie my shoe. Just to put them on, I had to sit down. Hadn't left the house. I violated the principle of my own body. I was in here eating anything that moved, anything looked like it could be. I was putting it down with no temperance and no thought of gaining weight because I eat like this all the time. Well, the problem was my eating habits for me didn't cause me to gain weight because I was so active. But being inactive, you got to start taking a look at what you have and what you don't have. So I gained all that weight, lost 45 pounds. I'm down to 250, 253, 250, 254. It's up and down. And I start putting on muscle. So I lost the weight. I hit the bridges. It was my idea. I tried to invite other people in the idea to try and get healthy again. Y'all didn't join me. You talked about it, but you didn't come out. And look at you. You're still fat. Well, you ain't got to say it like, well, but you are. God didn't create you to have all them chins. Lord have mercy. Here we go. God didn't give you all them stomachs. You got a stomach on the front and a stomach in the back. And it's because Sunshine 1113, good morning. It's because you violated the principle of your own body and you stretch God's body out of proportion and you fat. You need to lose that weight. It's not good for your knees. It's not good for your heart. It's not. You pulling all that weight around every day. Your feet hate you because you keep them up under all that pressure. And I know how I feel to drag all that weight around. I didn't realize how big I was, even though I was fatigued. I just figured, I'm not active. But I went to the town center and I saw my reflection in that glass. And I kept trying to suck my stomach in and it was sucked in, but it didn't come in. Everything just started moving as it will. Everything on me had a mind of its own. That was the first blow. The second blow, I went and played my cousin Mike in basketball. I normally beat him. It's friendly competition, but I always want to win. And he beat me. And I was out there about to die. Listen. Boy, you don't have an oxygen tank? I need help. Can't do this on my own. Breathing became hard. losing ticked me off. And my body quit on me. And normally we play 2 or 3 games. I could barely get through one. My body quit on me. And I was determined that day, you know what? I'm going to get this weight off me. Here's what I did. This was at night. This was probably about 7, 8 o'clock at night. This is my first time. I hit that bridge by myself, walked across, barely got across, y'all. This part I didn't tell y'all when I started. I barely got across that bridge. When I tell you this fat on me was wearing pop, 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 pop. Boy, listen, I got more blows from that fat on my body than Ali gave Frazier. Fat. I was fat. I put the picture. Y'all be playing with me so much, but I took the picture and put it on Facebook. I was fat. Just a shame. Let the Lord's body get like that. And it was ugly. When I say ugly, it was ugly, and it was all because I didn't have any discipline. None. Listen, I was partying. India Ari say I'm having a private party. I was having a private party. So I gained all that weight. I went that night to to walk the bridge. I barely got across the bridge. It wasn't good, y'all. Telling you the truth, it wasn't good. Barely got across, and that was the beginning of what I knew was going to be a long process because I wasn't in nobody's shape. Listen, if you huffing and puffing because you're walking, I want to apologize to you all in advance. So on YouTube, the brand is spreading, so you're going to get all kind of people. Somebody just, posted something and they use a language that I don't like. Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville. You're so disrespectful. You're part of the problem in America. But anyway, listen, y'all, I got on them weights. I started walking those bridges. The first time, it was terrible. Thought I was going to die. The next time, thought I was going to die again. But I kept going until I built the win that I needed to build some stamina, to build some win. And I want to say it could have been 4 or 5 times. What I started doing is hit the bridge. I would hit it twice a day. And hitting the bridge twice a day, believe it or not, it did me a lot of good. And I began to lose a lot of weight. Started out walking, increased to running. Now, here's the point that I'm trying to make with you. It's God's desire for us to prosper, according to Paul, and be in good health. But our health is contingent. Look at this. I wanted to make it big. I want y'all to see this. You see this? Do you see? I want you to see how big I was. This 294 pounds right here. I want you to see it. Or 298, whatever it was. See it? I'm going to put it right here. Now, this is the truth. That before picture was last year. The after picture was a few days ago. I just got through burning it, lifting, and I want to show my progress. Here's the point that I'm making to you. You've got to do something about what you want. God will empower you with the grace, but the grace is distributed to you based on the action you put behind it. And that's me. It's not Photoshop. Both of them are me. People talk all the time about, for instance, when someone dies of a heart attack or diabetes and their weight was a contributing factor, the first thing people want to say is God called them home. No, you borderline committed suicide when you start eating out of control and you lost the discipline over your mouth. Now, this transformation that I did that. I didn't take pills, dietary supplements, none of that. I took sea moss, moringa powder, L-glutamine, and there's another protein that I started to take, and I drank lots and lots of water. The after picture is me now. That's real time. I was fat fine. Now I'm fine. You see it. Look back at it. You see what it is. Look at it. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing. Listen to me. Listen closely. I can tell how you see about your vision, the way you look in your body. Because both your vision and your body is a result of your mind. If a person develops the discipline to rule their own body and control their mouth, they can direct their life. I'm going to be successful. I believe I am successful based on, I believe success is total obedience to God in all areas. You can't spend all that time in prayer and not diet. Just eat whatever you want. Living is a discipline. And I was determined to get the weight off and get back to the size that I enjoy. Well, I've accomplished that, but it took work. I had to give up breads, sugars, start walking the bridges. Then I started running. Took work. Many days I was discouraged. I remember I was running the bridge and somebody passed by and yelled something. I'm not sure what it was. And a few minutes later, I get a call from Meacham Clark. He said, is that you running the bridge? I said, yes. He said, good, because you're fat. And I had to take it. I'd be fat to a dwarf. But it's work. You have to work through your emotional state, how you feel about yourself. If you really love you, you'll change how you look. It's work. It's discipline. I had to mind my mouth. Watch what I eat. I had to give up ginger ale bowl. Well, that bowl got me swole. Y'all understand? So my point to you is you can have what you want as long as what you want is in harmony with what he has for you. But it begins with you taking control of where you are. I tell Adrian Smith, you know him as comedian A-Train, almost every day. You're fat. You shouldn't feel that good about your body, Train. You shouldn't. The Bible says that the body is the temple of the Lord. And I ask Train all the time, why do you stretch God's temple? He don't need no more room. You just stretching his body. Take control of your life by gaining control of your mind. And that is done through discipline. And the same discipline that it takes to overcome your own mind to lose the weight is going to take that same discipline for you to manifest the things that are in your heart. Don't be like Train. His arms little, his neck is little. but he got a big stomach and a big head. And he's losing his hair. That's not the will of God for your life. All right. That's coffee time. Thank you all for joining. Listen, we're able to do this because of your love and your support. There is no me without you. Without your ears, I don't have a voice. You make this possible. And what that literally means is it's your support. It's your giving. It's your sharing. It's your telling other people about Coffee Time that makes it a success. Without that, it's not a success. I was told if you're a leader and nobody's following you, you're just a man taking a walk. You all make this easy because you show up and you are a part of what we do. And for that, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you. Continue to give more. I have a meeting today just to kind of let you all in. I have a meeting today. One of the things that's been in my heart is there are many people who need to be on the airways. They need podcasts. They need connections, someone to be the bridge to walk them through. Well, you don't have to suffer the way I had to suffer in figuring it out. I was before my time. I started doing this and I didn't know what I was doing. Well, I want to make it easier for those that are coming beside me, behind me. And I'm meeting with someone today in regards of a studio for us to house. Same thing we had before. But we'll be able to create videos, podcasts, and make it easier for you. So I'm meeting with them today, 3:00. Make sure you all pray for me. In addition to that, there are some other ideas that we were on the phone. We were talking it out. And this man of God threw out the red carpet for us, and the price was just unbelievable. So we're meeting today. It's just going to push us further along with where we need to be. We'll be able to do editing, videography, podcast recordings. Those of you that have music, you'll be able to use the studio. So there are a lot of things that we're working on to continue to help our community, make it easier for those of you that are called to do this. And in addition to that, we're constantly expanding. We're going back on network TV when the time is right. And I'm excited about that. And I'm asking that you all pray, keep me in your prayers. All right. So without your ear, I don't have a voice. You make this possible. I'm so glad God chose us to do life together. You're born to win, predestined to succeed. There's nothing that can happen to you today that the wisdom on the inside of you is not able to handle. But you got to calm down, slow down, get out of the way, sit down, know when to speak, know when to listen, and know when to use your poker face. Use emotional intelligence. When we do these things and depend on the wisdom that's in us, we would always win. You all have a great, productive day. And remember, you're in control of your life. You decide what happens next. It's about time you do something with that power. All right. Have a great day. And always remember to think higher, speak life. And for those of you that fat, lose the weight.
Coffee time, coffee time. Yeah, this ain't your average cup of joe. Listen, I need it in the morning, I need it at night. He always keeps it brewing, he always keeps it tight. Just a little sip, it'll get you right. Terrence Pickett always be the one that gets the coffee right. The coffee's right, the coffee's right in my life. It's never a wrong time or a crime to get what's yours and to get what's mine. Come on. Coffee time in my life. Coffee time feels so right. I need a little sugar, put it in my cup. Can you stir it, Terrence? Let me know what's up. And at the end of the show, you can brew another pot. Just make sure you make it hot. Come on.